All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you today, and what I want to talk about is a little different. Don't have a lot of news stories, but just good news, and that's the rising price of Bitcoin, and now it's I guess altcoin season by the looks of CoinMarketCap and just overall sentiment. So some things are making the price explode, and we're going to go over that. Now, one of the things that people have been talking about is that, well, people are trying to get out of Tether, and in order to get out of Tether, you got to buy some kind of crypto, and that's raising the price. Because a lot of people on Bitfinex cannot withdraw US dollar. So, they're all just waiting around in limbo. And a lot of people are complaining that they would rather just cancel their wire withdrawals to their accounts and stuff like that. And they can't. So, getting Bitfinexed as usual, as according to the Twitter, which we're actually going to get to in a little bit. But so I want to go over some of the things that are raising the price and some of the overall bullish sentiment. So everywhere you go lately, there's a totally different reversal of people's thoughts, whether it's crypto news sites, Reddits, forums, that sort of thing. Everybody's getting ready for that it's over 9,000 Bitcoin meme. They're just working hard on creating that perfect it's over 9,000 meme. And soon it's going to come. Now, some people are thinking maybe by the end of this year, we're going to be back to 20,000. My prediction's kind of more like 15,000 or something like that. But again, everybody's Bitcoin's predictions are totally dead wrong, so don't hold me to that one. But things are looking pretty good. And if you don't have any Bitcoin yet, probably should get on that because it's just been going up, up, up. However, it does look pretty parabolic at the moment. It's pretty much a straight wall of increase if you look at a chart, on a month kind of basis. It's really going up pretty quick. And with a very quick rise, sometimes comes a very quick decrease. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a few $100s be shaven off sometime. But I've been waiting for that for about $1,000 now. And so far that hasn't come. So the first article I want to talk about is just some Bitcoin predictions. So Bitcoin had a good run in 2019 as it is currently approaching the 7,000 mark. Although a good run in 2019 kind of makes it sound like 2019 is already over. This after the price of Bitcoin dropped to as low as 3,200 in December 2018. And although it might still be too early to think we've entered a bull market, there are some financial advisory firms and Wall Street veterans who've made some very bold Bitcoin price predictions. So one is 20K by 2021, but I'm thinking more like by the end of 2020 at this rate. However, we'll have to see if it slows down at any point throughout the year, which I imagine it will, and there might be some intra-month dips here and there, but we are rising pretty quick, and the bullish sentiment is all over the place, which is great psychology for everybody to be buying in, and there's many other reasons as well. So the Canaccord Genuity Group as forecasted 20,000 by 2021. So again, 2021, I don't think so. I think the price will actually be higher then, because by 2021 we will have gone past the Bitcoin halvening, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit. Another bold prediction has come with the Morgan Creek Capital Management founder. During an appearance on BlocksLive.tv, never even heard of that, Yusko predicted that Bitcoin's price could reach a high of 400,000 within a decade, which is a bit more reasonable. According to Yusko, he came up with a prediction by doing some simple math, just simple math, of dividing the current market cap of gold by the total number of Bitcoins that will ever be produced, 21 million. So, within a decade, too, we will see another two halvening. So we're going to see this halvening, and then we're also going to see the halvening in 2024 as well. And mind you, keep this number in mind that right now, in any given day, on average, of course, given the 10-minute average block time of Bitcoin, only 1,800 Bitcoin can be created in a 24-hour period. And right now, the buying definitely exceeds that in the demand. And then at 2020, only 900 Bitcoin will be created. 2024, you can do the math, 450 Bitcoin per day. And it just goes down from there. And of course, by then, there's going to be a lot of demand for Bitcoin. And eventually, it's just going to have to get really high in price in order to be able to mine it profitably. Otherwise, everyone's just going to have to shut down and move on from Bitcoin. And I kind of doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. Now, eventually, I think 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, who knows, the way technology is going, maybe Bitcoin will become too antiquated and a thing of the past, in the same way that the Model T Ford is, and that back then, nobody knew that we were going to be walking around with powerful computers in our hands that can pull up basically the entirety of human knowledge with the press of a button. So again, if you told somebody that 120 years ago, you know, you might get laughed at, you know, and even 30 years ago, we didn't really have that in our hands. And I like to watch those movies, you know, like from the 90s and 80s that we used to, you know, that we all grew up on, and everybody walking around in those movies. The one thing I always can't help but to think about is all those people don't have iPhones in their pockets. Everybody walking around in that cityscape, you know, and they're all walking around, and, you know, it's just some movie, and you can see all the people in the background, and you're like, not a one of those, not a single person had an iPhone or an Android in their pocket. What would they even do? Man, so crazy how technology moves so quickly. So moving on here, BitMEX liquidations are at 28.71 million in the last 6 hours, according to this still picture. So it could be more or less by now. But that's a lot of shorts that got wrecked. People betting on the price going down. I actually checked BitMEX shorts last night while I was on my live stream, and noticed that the shorts were really, really high. So everyone was expecting last night, and it was like 6,800, 6,900, hadn't quite breached that 7,000 mark. Everyone was expecting that to dump at that 7,000 mark. Well, it didn't. So, hey, don't leverage trade. Don't do it. Moving on, so total supply controlled by top 10 addresses as well. And you can see here that mineable coins are much better dispersed than essentially non-mineable coins. And that doesn't go for everything, but at least this chart, it kind of does. As you can see here, Bitcoin held by the top 10 addresses. You know, the total supply is maybe 10% by looking at this chart, maybe 8%. Ethereum a little bit higher, maybe about double at 10 to maybe 15% there. It's sort of hard to tell with the scale. XRP is nearly at 50% held by the top 10 addresses. Bitcoin Cash even and Litecoin maybe 10% each. EOS, it's like that's got to be like 85%. And Tether, of course, way up there as well. Binance Coin, way up there, held by the top 10 addresses because these coins are all very, very insanely centralized. Cardano, really high. Stellar, of course, really high as well. You can see Tron, very high. And then you even go to Bitcoin SV, and it's actually pretty low. At Dash, very low as well, around the same amount, maybe a little bit more than Bitcoin there. IOTA and Tezos, very high as well. So you can see that, you know, even still, even after proof of work is kind of dying just a little bit. And I don't mean to say that, you know, with Bitcoin, Ethereum, of course, all these well-established coins, proof of work is still going really strong. But have you noticed that not many coins for proof of work have been coming out lately, or at least none that are really breaking the mold? I think the last ones I can remember were Grin and Beam, and those aren't doing too well in the price. And Grin whines that they're not getting enough donations, and Beam, I don't know what they're doing. And then Litecoin is actually teaming up with Beam to add Mimblewimble to Litecoin, which I think will help Litecoin out a lot. And my reasoning for that is because at one point Litecoin was, I think, now I know I'm going to take a lot of flack for this because, again, I really like Litecoin, and I know a lot of you guys do too. But let's just be honest, at one point, Litecoin was much more useful than it is now. And I'm not saying it's not useful, but it was once much more useful, admittedly. When, you know, December 2017 was around, Bitcoin average transaction was $30, $40, $50. I remember paying $32 for a, I believe it was a $700 and some odd dollar transaction, and I made 2 of those at once to pay for something, so that was $60. And then I actually had to get that Bitcoin refunded refunded. So that was another about $64 on the way back. So I paid about $120 some to get a refund essentially on my Bitcoin. And that was actually to Newegg, because apparently I didn't pay enough, even though I clearly did. But who knows on that one? Quite questionable. So, and they're just not coming out so much. I remember in 2017, it was like every week something new would come along. Zcash, and then Z Classic, and then Zencash, etc. You got the Vertcoin and then Monacoin, and it was just nonstop because you could mine them with your GPU. And now there's just too many ASICs, and it's hard to even come up with a new algorithm that's ASIC proof. Like the X16s and stuff, or even FPGAs are on those now. So quite interesting. So moving on to the next article, halving rally. So I wanted to talk about the halving of Litecoin, which not that many people are talking about. Now you can find some articles about it. I mean, here's one right now, but and this was actually relatively new on the 9th of May, but not as many people are talking about this, of course, as Bitcoin, as I guess people just don't think it's as important, but it is pretty important. So Litecoin's blockchain set to undergo mining reward halving of August this year, as it's programmatically designed to do so. Every 840,000 blocks every 4 years. The process is aimed at controlling inflation by reducing the rewards from 25 coins to 12.5 coins. So remember that Litecoin is essentially a few years older than Bitcoin, and its halving is essentially on a different level. So Bitcoin used to be 25 coins, but it's been 12.5 coins since 2016, and Litecoin hasn't quite caught up. So this is like the first Genesis block was in 2011 for Litecoin, and so 4 years later, on August 25th of 2015, Litecoin halved to 25 reward before it was 50. And you can see the price went way down before that. And then it took a little while. It actually took a couple years for Litecoin to catch up and then really exploded. So that's not exactly like Bitcoin's. Bitcoin's usually occurs much faster than that, the price rise. So again, the Litecoin halvings are just not as important as Bitcoin. But again, this is pretty important because we're going to do 2 halvings within about 6 months of each other or so. And so we're going to have a lot less supply of Litecoin and Bitcoin in the year 2020. Now, of course, Litecoin halvings happens this year in August, but probably won't have too much of a noticeable effect for a good few months when Bitcoin will halve in just a few months after that. So moving on to Bitcoin. The Bitcoin halving is on approximately May 20th, 2020. So an event that could take place that could change the value of Bitcoin forever. I didn't write it. Yet even with increased public awareness and media attention around Bitcoin, it's an event that few are talking about or understand. I disagree with that. A lot of people are talking about it, despite the fact that it's already happened twice before. So we're going to go from 12.5 Bitcoin, again, about 1,800 a day, to 6.25 Bitcoin per block, only about 900 Bitcoin produced per day, which is extremely low, considering the demand is way higher than that in the volume. So what to expect with the next Bitcoin halving? Using CoinDesk data, they analyzed Bitcoin prices this April and found that the large volatility event seemed to occur about 12 to 18 months after each halving. So the first time, Bitcoin went from around $11 to around $1,100. Now, I want to argue the first time the Bitcoin halving, the 1100, the 11 to 1100, I think was caused not only by the halving, but that was also Coinbase. So Coinbase came out in, I think, 2012. It might have been 2013. And the price went to $1,100, I believe, because mostly of Coinbase, because Coinbase opened up something that didn't not exist before that, but it definitely opened up bank transfers in and out very smoothly for a lot of customers, and mostly like America and European nations and UK, etc. it opened up that method for a lot of people when there wasn't a lot of exchanges back then. So Coinbase was very professional. It was much more professional and much more well made than the other ones. They also offered a reward for referral links and things like that to Coinbase, and they still do, but it's not nearly as much as it used to be. And so that caused a massive wave of new buyers that would otherwise not go on to any other exchanges. And because of that hype, it went to 1100. And, well, quite frankly, the bubble popped on that for other reasons as well, and went back down to about $220. The second time, Bitcoin went around from $230 to around $20,000. Now, that's sort of a very broad statement over the course of 4 years. So they're doing this kind of over the course of like 4 years, whereas the first one happened a little bit sooner. But so a little ridiculous to put like the whole 4 years from 230 to 20,000. There are a lot of things that caused the price of Bitcoin to increase, and it just wasn't the halving. I think the 2017 was like hype. It was when YouTubers started to really pop up on crypto. All the referral links, Genesis mining, everybody buying in contracts. I think like BitConnect, you had to buy Bitcoin and then give Bitcoin to BitConnect and then give them back your BitConnect, which just made no sense still to this day. So they basically got your Bitcoin, and then they're like, here's your BitConnect, and then you're like, here's my BitConnect, and they're like, wow, thanks for that back. It was just pretty much amazing how that all worked out. And that was huge. BitConnect, honestly, I've talked to so many people in the crypto world that started off in 2017. My YouTube started off in 2017, and everybody that I talked to, well, not everybody, but there's a huge majority of people that I talked to that got into Bitcoin because of BitConnect. And because of how much people were making. So there was just so much going on, so many new ICOs, so much reason to buy. And there was even the 5,000 to 3,200 when China banned exchanges in the country. So all kinds of things. So about the next halvening, it's important to note that with each halvening, there were different variables at work. But it was the first time a halving ever happened, and no one had any real idea what to expect. The second time, the rise of Ethereum and initial coin offerings was a new factor, which I agree with. But there's a lot of factors going on. That was not happening in 2012. And the biggest changes in crypto ecosystem this time will be the higher public awareness around Bitcoin and the interest of institutional investors. So with the institutional investors now ready to roll out, there's going to be even more demand. And we're about to get into that next. So I want to talk about these 3 articles real quick. I'm not going to read these. I think I already read a couple of these on my channel. But right now I have 3 different articles up. The first one is E-Trade is readying Bitcoin trading for 5 million customers. Moving on, Fidelity set to roll out Bitcoin trading over the coming weeks. Moving on, TD Ameritrade launches crypto division, looks to offer spot Bitcoin trading. So these are all stock exchanges that people have been using for many, many years. And, there is admittedly a group of people that only invest in stock. I know a few of them. They don't want Bitcoin. They don't want to invest in that. So they're only buying stock. So they're on these stock exchanges. And those people, maybe half of those people, you could slice it in half and, vaguely and say half of those people are interested in trading stock, and therefore they're kind of interested in trading crypto, and they also have accounts on Coinbase, Binance, etc. like that, and they also buy crypto as well as their stocks. And then the other half is like, I'm not going to touch crypto because I don't want to leave my exchange. There are a lot of people that don't even want to leave their exchange even in crypto, and that's why when a new coin gets added to a particular exchange, it goes up in value a little bit because, well, they could have went to a different exchange, signed up, and bought that coin over there, but they don't really want to. Maybe it's laziness. Maybe they don't trust that other exchange. Maybe they just trust the exchange that they're on, and they like to use the one that they're on. So the other half of those stock traders, they don't want to go onto a crypto exchange. Maybe they don't trust them. Maybe they don't want to take the time. Maybe just a little too lazy. Stocks is working for me just fine. So the reason why these three are incredibly important is that now, all of a sudden, boom, Bitcoin is on their exchange. And they might as well go, okay, and if the stock market goes down one day and Bitcoin is up 20% like it randomly does, that's going to be very interesting to see that. When you see everything else in the red and Bitcoin up 10% for the day, going to be very, very interesting to you. You might go, maybe I might sell a little of these stocks since the stock market is going down. Maybe it's even going up, but not as much as crypto. And they sell their stocks and put it into Bitcoin. Some people that may have never, ever touched Bitcoin because they don't want to go to a different exchange. They didn't trust it, you know. And now that it's on their E-Trade or now that it's on their stock exchange, they will definitely touch it. So that is super big. And with the halvening coming up, 2020, the demand is going to be even greater now. So things are looking really good for Bitcoin at the moment. So moving on, Bitcoin enters parabolic phase to 7K, but no one is sure when it'll stop. And this is true. So Bitcoin correctly called it earlier this week. The Bitcoin price rally has continued. Moreover, signs suggest that the predicted a new parabolic phase for Bitcoin, which may have arrived already, following yesterday's move through 6,400, massive overnight gains, first 6,500, then all the way up to 7,000. Now you can see this is cut off at 6,800 here, but now we're well over 7,000. So imagine this chart just going well above that. So you can see it's nearly straight up since about maybe the 10th. Excuse me. About the 10th, you can see that it is up, $400, $500, $600, $700 plus, basically straight up. And when it goes straight up like that, could be a problem. So additionally, Max Kaiser's chip shot to the 10,000 holes looking increasingly makeable. At press time, we just hit 6,900, 6,950 as I watch, but it is going up, up, up. So popular market commentator as Parabolic Trav notes, the extending dailies forming the parabola typically marks the blow-off phase. This might suggest that we're nearing the top, or maybe we just go straight from here and then back up even more. So it's hard to say, but we have seen this before, and we have seen dumps from there. Although it may dump a few $100s, entice even more people to start buying in, and we're just going to keep going up. So again, there's a lot more bullish things backing Bitcoin right now than there was all of 2018. I started my crypto channel in 2017. I made crypto news and videos all through 2018 as we were going down, down, down. I'm still making crypto videos, and so we've seen this a lot. But now it is a lot different. There are a lot of things backing it. The halvening, the E-Trade, people getting out of Tether. So there's just so many more things actually backing it this time instead of just, is this just a pump out of nowhere because of a whale? I would say no. There's just a lot of good things backing it. So moving on to some different news, I just wanted to show you this. This is on the Bitfinex Twitter. It's actually just a retweet of somebody else. But so it says, you should ask for a refund. Bots too obvious from Bitfinex and Tether. And I just want to sort of talk about this and confirm that there are a lot of bots right now that are defending Bitfinex and defending Tether. And these aren't just people with like ideas like, hey, I don't really mind Tether. You know what I mean? I hope this just blows over so my funds don't get this. These are not real people commenting. These are for sure bots or paid posters in some way. And I'm sure that this information eventually is going to come out, whether it was actually bots or real people paid to post positive comments on just about everything they see. A lot of FUD, if they see FUD on Tether, they will comment positive things. And this is probably bots, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it was just paid commenters itself, because this is happening on my YouTube channel. I've made a few videos recently fudding on Tether and Bitfinex because of, they're not fully backed and they're in a lot of trouble right now. And of course, you can't withdraw from Bitfinex. Everybody is just sitting in limbo. Their withdrawals have been sitting in limbo for weeks now. They can't even cancel them, so they can't get their money to buy into Bitcoin to even even just leave the exchange. Everybody's leaving the exchange. Bitfinex had to withdraw 17,000 some Bitcoin from their cold wallet and put it in their hot wallet to pay everybody that's actually trying to get off the exchange. So this isn't even me just fudding because of my opinion at the moment. So, and I'm getting these same comments. Let me just tell you some of these comments. I'd rather keep the opinion I always had. Tether is an okay coin. What? That we can use sometimes. The numbers tell the truth. Oh my god, that's such a bot. That's such a bot. Everyone has so many opinions about this. Amazing. Of course, there are so many other stable coins, but for some reason, Tether has the most liquidity. Plus, it's difficult to agree the fact that those other stable coins are real, better, or worth at all of our attention. Yeah, I tried other coins, but Tether is the most suitable one. It has a great number of advantages, which are very attractive to me. Somebody's like what exactly? It's like, wow, gold words. People should really think again before blame Tether. Before blame Tether. So whoever's writing these bots is like, I don't mean to like, like no offense, but it's either like Indian or Chinese, or definitely not English. Before blame Tether. This man is talking true things, and I totally agree with him. My choice is USDT, and I won't change it. Tether has advantages over other coins, which really outweigh this stupid question. What? So these are the kind of comments I've been getting on my YouTube channel on whenever I talk about Tether or Bitfinex on my YouTube channel. I'm sure they're going to be in this video as well. It's really weird what's going on right now, and somebody is trying to make everybody eat a damage control sandwich. Perhaps Tether has made some mistakes, but are we all that saint? Regarding its past achievements, I wouldn't doubt its credibility. Oh my god. Oh, it's so bad. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. Like, these are clearly not real people. These are clearly not like real comments. I'm getting almost verbatim these same comments from totally different tags and stuff like that. So Joseph is a cool man. He is right. People should listen to him, as Tether is really trustworthy. I can't even say it with a straight face. As Tether is really trustworthy. That's like, that's like saying like Dr. Kevorkian is very trustworthy. That's like saying, God, it's so bad. That's like saying like, you should really listen to him, as Enron is really trustworthy. I still advise you to try it. Even knowing this stupid conflict with NYAG, it doesn't disturb Tether from doing its job well. BS. There wasn't found any strong evidence against Bitfinex in that case, and Bitfinex is working to make things better. Are these all Tether Bitfinex employees posting here? Sure seems like it. Yeah, this guy's they're buying bots. So funny. So people know these are bots. Like these are clearly bots. The way they talk, they're clearly Chinese or Indian made that don't speak native English. And they have really poor grammar. Oh, your base are belong to us, and Tether BRS is really trustworthy. So these are just inundating my channel right now. I go to log in to look at my comments, and there's just like 20 comments of just like Tether is like you're just fudding on RB on Tether. It is really trustworthy. Like, how is it really trustworthy? What do you mean? They're getting subpoenaed, and they lost $850 million and had to use their Tether reserves, and now everybody's running from Bitfinex as fast as they can. What do you mean it's trustworthy? How's that trustworthy? I mean, if you're on Bitfinex right now, you need to buy Bitcoin. You need to buy the cheapest currency you can that isn't totally overinflated or anything, and you need to get that currency off of Bitfinex. Put it in a private wallet. Number one, or just some other trustworthy exchange like Coinbase or something, anything like that, right? And the best advice I can give you is just put it in a private offline wallet or something, like a cold wallet. Okay. Now, mind you, Bitfinex, this might all just blow over, and you could be like, well, I guess Sotko was wrong. Well, then take your coins and put them back on Bitfinex and enjoy your trading, right? But if it doesn't, and Bitfinex shuts down, becomes insolvent, can't pay you out. They're clearly not paying anybody out right now in terms of money withdrawals, like fiat withdrawals. You could just look at everybody complaining about it. Just do it yourself. Go on Twitter. Go to the Bitfinex Twitter. Go anywhere. Nobody can withdraw. So you need to get your currency off of there as fast as possible, because if it goes under, you're going to be like, hey, thanks, Sotko, for telling me to get that off there. I didn't lose everything. So moving on to CoinMarketCap, $216 billion market cap. We are moving up. And now, again, altcoin season You can see Ethereum up 10%, Litecoin up 14%. Even Bitcoin Cash up 22.5%. Got to give it to that at the very least. Even EOS up 13%. Binance Coin starting to regain some of that, some of those losses. Monero, everything up. And look, everything is in the green and doing absolutely phenomenal. Everest, that's absolutely a fake pump there. But Bitcoin Cash and Next doing pretty much the best. But Bitcoin Cash always has very mysterious pumps. Even going to the next 100 coins, you can see 40%, 10% gains everywhere with very little losses overall. So things are looking really, really good. But that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video. That helps me out a lot. And my social media is in the description below. I've been on DLive lately, a blockchain streaming platform. And I stream Monday through Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And you can come give me a follow on DLive. Come watch, come talk about crypto or anything. I play games when I'm live streaming, but even if you don't like games, you can just come in, ask me how you're doing, or how I'm doing. You can also ask me how you're doing, and I can, like, guess, I guess. I don't know why I said that, but anyway. Or we could talk about crypto, anything. The conversations get pretty wild at times, and always good times. But that's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed it, and as usual, I will see you guys next time.